We're so excited to have you on with us because oh my gosh, it's so great to see you on screen and what a role for you, right?
Great role. Yeah, really great role.
And when you get something like this, something comes along like this, you must think, oh, I've got to do this, right?
Yes, kind of. Yes, I thought, I'd love to do it, not easy, like to approach it. I was a bit nervous in the beginning, and I also thought, how do we do this when I'm this cuckoo character in the beginning, and then I turn into this rather wise lady. And I just thought, I wish I had scenes where I'd like to have played the whole thing, I'd love to have played the cuckoo part more. But so obviously the age difference is just too wide. And no, I came around to it, but it took me, I didn't want to lose any of those little bits of kookiness that Rose was.
Oh, absolutely, and then of course, there's certain elements of the character probably that you've seen before, right?
Yeah, to some degree, I think there's experiences that most actors have been up against. Locations, difficulties. It's not always easy. It's not an easy job. It looks pretty from the PR, but it's not. There's lots of things that can happen, and you're often on your own, and it's going to be it can be lonely, it can be isolating, and you need support, and you've got to be at your best emotionally to get this energy to do all this stuff. I felt very comfortable with Kelly. I thought he was a wonderful listener, which I'm very grateful for, because that's, two people talking. He was so present, more than most actors I worked with. He was committed to the story, and he's a good actor, but he's also a very interesting person.
Yeah, absolutely. And the interesting part about it is that, you, of course, you put your heart and soul into everything that you do. But, there's also, the dedication to the character who sometimes maybe you can't understand all the time, right?
Well, I didn't feel that I didn't understand. No, I felt that I did feel like I understood.
Oh.
Her journey. I didn't know where it was going to go. Obviously, towards the end, you don't know where you're going to end up. But it's a acting life sounds glamorous and all that, but it's actually not an easy life, and very uncertain life. Up and down like a yo-yo, and often when the people get success, they have too much in one gloop kind of great bunch of it, and then it disappears, and up and down, and you've got to hold steady and not put this as your only value in your life. It's really got to be, you have to be a substantial human to survive.
Absolutely. Well, and I was curious about that too. Is that sort of the advice that you give to those actors coming up looking at you? Because you just make it look easy, but it's certainly not.
Well, you can't, you don't know stuff when you're young. You don't know the answers to questions. People ask you for advice, and you don't know what to say because you don't have any real experience. But at a certain point, you do have experience. And you can also, and you think about not just acting. Acting is only a tiny part of it. There's so much, it entails so many other elements. If you want to be an actor, you need to study all kinds of things. You need to know about lighting. You need to know about history. You need to know about politics. You need to know about art. You need to look at the visuals of all kinds of different kinds of art. I mean, it's important you need to read. You need hopefully to learn a language so that you become a rich, erudite human, and that you're not boring. And because if you don't, just screen time, if you're not full of stuff, because your thoughts are going to show if you're in a close-up. Your thoughts, you need to fill that space, and you've got to have stuff going on. And it's a great joy to feel that you've got the stuff inside, that you know kind of where you can go and what the walls are to that, whether you're going to spread beyond them or whether you're going to take it into the place where the audience is just happy to be with you. You don't think about that when you're doing it exactly, but as you're preparing it, you see the possibilities that the script will take you to. So Russell Brown's script is absolutely key to my character. And then there's some of the stuff when she's talking about what's the name of the actress from Russia, Nazimova. There's little sections with lots of little rich details that you don't get a chance to do that stuff often.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe our great director is joining us right now. Let me merge him in, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now we're all together. Hello.
Hi, Russell.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we were just having a nice chat here, and she was just talking about her advice to other actors as well coming up, and you know you've had a front row seat to see how the best work, right?
I sure have. I mean, it's always kind of amazing to see the best at work and how they do their craft. I love it. It's always, I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and this film was probably so exciting for you to work on as well. Did you have a particular memory from the set working here with her that will always stand out to you?
You know, to be honest, the thing that really stands out to me is, there's lots of moments on set, but really Jacqueline and I spent a lot of time just at her house going through the script and talking and kind of getting to know each other, but also getting to know the movie really well. And I just loved hanging out at her house, and we would have some wine and have a biscuit and talk about the script.
Shush. What about wine? Shush.
Okay, no wine. We would have we'd have a glass of water and a cookie and just, talk and have laughs. And, I mean, that was really great because I felt like I was making a new friend. And so that was really fun.
Well, and also probably a pretty great a film and life class too, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and Jacqueline, you probably had such a good time hosting in this kind of way because in films you don't always get that same kind of time, right?
No, you don't. But it was the initial time that we had with Kelly and Russell was very important. And I was at Russell's house, and he has a nice house. We sat around a table, and the cat. He has two cats, which come into the story, and the cats were wandering around on the table. And Kelly was talking to one of them, and I got a really strong impression about him. I really was touched by how he was with one of the cats, and I felt a lot for him. I felt a lot of inner life, and I thought it's going to be okay. I didn't know how we hadn't got into the deep preparation. This was just an initial meeting, really, and I thought, oh, this is good. He's an excellent listener. He pays attention. He's very intelligent. He's well read. He's an interesting, erudite human. And you got to have stuff inside. You can't do it with empty people. You got to have something to work with, and then the feelings come, and the feelings that you can have.
Yeah, absolutely. And Russell, of course, people, I was just saying to Jacqueline that a lot of people look up to what you do and they think, this is what I want to do. And, if you want to direct the greats, you have to be great yourself. And so what kind of advice do you give to people that want to make great films?
Gosh, advice about making films.
Yes.
It's a broad question. It kind of depends on which part of filmmaking, because filmmaking, encompasses, hundreds of different parts of it. But, I guess one thing is that you kind of have to mix this balance between being fluid to change and also being true to what you want to do. Because there's a balance there, what you want to do is not always totally achievable. So you have to kind of accept the change that comes along with that, but also not abandon it so much that you stray so far from what your original intention was. So I guess sort of figuring out that balancing act is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And for both of you, my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, and he caught the Hail Mary. And of course, we all kind of know the Hail Mary term as a pop culture term where you're just kind of have to throw the ball and go for it. And so he wanted me to make sure that I asked both of you your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for each of you?
Oh, goodness me, yes, absolutely. There are moments when I did the deep and all the underwater stuff, 90 feet of water, diving under 90 feet of water, and the fear and the this and the that, and almost drowning and all those things, where you just have to say, okay, We're not in the kids' class. This is the grown-ups. Got to go for it. Yeah. Well, there were moments emotionally in Loren and Rose where there's some tough moments when she's keeping in the information that's going on with her. So she's up again, and Loren has become a very close friend. So she knows that he doesn't understand where she's at. So to step into that arena is not an easy one.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you, Russell?
I mean, for me to answer honestly, I kind of feel like I almost have the opposite problem in a way. Like, I kind of need to be more patient sometimes and not, sometimes I think I get a little bit too ready to throw the Hail Mary and not wait a little bit more. And actually, I have this great friend, Christopher Munch, who is how I actually met Jacqueline, who's also a filmmaker. And, he's very good at being like kind of patient and sort of thinking about things a little bit more before he chooses. So I guess in that way, I kind of try, I guess my lesson in life is to be a little more, I don't know, slow.
Yeah. Well, part of that is that success mindset that we talk about, on the show, whether or not you're feeling it or not. And, as creative types, we're very hard on ourselves. So is there something that each of you tell yourselves that keeps you on the right path, even when things are tough?
Oh, it's a struggle sometimes. You just can't always get to where you need to go. As the more experience you get, one is more in touch with emotions. I am much more in touch with my emotions than I was in the beginning. It's almost like you've got to not give into that, and you don't want too much emotion because it can really put the audience off. You've got to hold back on stuff. Learn to hold back and not dish it out gently, but true, but not excessive. Like excessive tears and all that stuff can be very off-putting. People have to have a chance to interpret the story the way they see it. You can't ram it down their throat. So you've got enough, but not too much. So you've got to dose the love and dose the hate and dose the words, I think, to some degree, as you do in life.
Yeah, so well said. Would you say the same thing, Russell?
Well, so the question was about sort of things to tell yourself in hard times and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I guess, I think I have I think one of my sort of lucky things about whatever I was born with is that I have a pretty active imagination. So I don't know. I feel like I sort of have this inner sense that everything's always going to sort of be all right. And if it's not, I can sort of go into my mind. And I take a lot of sort of solace in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, last thing, just go ahead.
No, I was going to say, did you see that David Lynch had passed? It's really sad.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. That was so sad. I had a wonderful conversations with him before.
Wonderful. Oh.
Amazing guy. Really amazing guy.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was another one that had such a great mindset about everything, and didn't seem to let it get to him as much, right?
Very, very unique person.
Oh yes, absolutely. Once in a lifetime talent for sure. Well, the last thing I wanted to ask you about is I think there's a lot to get out of. Of course, the entertainment value is tops here, but we there's a lot to think about here, and there's a lot being said. And so, what would each of you like people to take away when they see this film? Besides, that was great.
Jacqueline?
Just interest in these people who just talk to each other pretty honestly, and the fact that when she gets older, towards the end, and with the issues she has, how she gives him hope. She fills him up. She puts him on the route. She encourages him. She says, grab it by the teeth, basically, and go for it. Don't be a wishy-washy life, not doing what you want. Grab your artistic life. Be your own artist. Be a stand up for yourself. And I love that speech. It just thrills me when she says that to him.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the exact words, but what is the words, Russell?
It says, own your own purpose in your existence. Stand tall, be an artist.
Own your own purpose in your existence. And that's so important.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it so is. And would you say the same thing, Russell?
We've shown the movie to so many festivals and theaters, and there's always this kind of real silence at the end of the movie, and there's always some people that have some tears, and I guess the sort of emotional experience of it is what I really hope people take away from it. Is just a really satisfying, heart-filled kind of journey that they go on over the 82 minutes. I guess that's what I really hope people take away from it.
Absolutely. And last thing before we let you go, is there anything else that you each have coming up that we should know about? Because I can't wait to see what each of you have coming up next.
I have something coming in the spring, but I haven't yet got to a point when I want to talk about it.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. That means it's probably very good. Russell?
By the way, you've just seen a trademark Jacqueline Bisset move. Jacqueline's always like, Russell, you have to have a lore. She always says that. And so, like, that's what you just experienced was vintage.
I love it.
I didn't know that. Dude, she just, I think actors, and maybe women, I could make a general, or people in general, just hold something a little back, is always good.
That's great.
But I actually have a play opening tonight that I wrote here in Los Angeles.
Amazing.
So, yeah, so it's a new play, and it's premiering to the theater in Beverly Hills called Theater 40, and the play is called Listing.
And it's so good. It's such a script. It's so good. The story is so interesting.
That's amazing. Well, we're definitely going to have to check that out. We'll be back in LA soon. And I really, really appreciate your time. Appreciate the film so much. We're going to tell everyone to check it out. And look forward to talking to both of you again soon. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Great to talk to you, too.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.